Silent
right.
protagonist.
So we're streaming now, but I want to make sure that it's actually working. So, um, let's see here. Let me make sure. So talk amongst yourselves.
Jibber jabber.
Echo.
Yeah, forever, right? Come on. What's going
Do
on
re
here?
mi fa si la ti do.
Okay.
Jibber jabber.
It's working.
Now or never.
Yeah.
It's working. There's a feedback loop now. Oh, okay. So, welcome. I actually spent some time today and I wrote a little script. So I'm going to read it. Hello and welcome. My name is Robert Frost III. Besides my professional work as a composer and sound designer for games, I am also your host and creator of Game.wav, an inclusive group group dedicated to understanding and celebrating all things game audio. We meet on the second Thursday of every month at Hennepin Technical College in Eden Prairie, but sadly, the school is closed today, which is why we're streaming exclusively. I would like to instead extend an invitation to anyone who wishes to present at these meetings in the future. It can really be anything related to game audio, but reach out to me if you have some ideas and want to flesh my stuff out. Yeah, Josh, what's up? He's going all in.
Yeah, figured it'd be a nice human touch.
Yeah. Hey. Let's see. Can I even do it on my? Because my camera is doubled now. I don't even want to try it. It's gonna. Oh jeez, Oh jeez, you screwed up my script. Oh my gosh.
I'm good at that.
Okay. Full screen. Okay. So typically these meetings derail during the playback feedback section, and that's the most interactive portion of our meetings. During playback feedback, anyone can share any game audio works in progress for constructive feedback. Before we start today, I want to thank IGDA TC Community, Nice Games Alliance, and Hennepin Tech for their support. Without all of you, Game.wav would just be me, myself, and I. So let's get started with announcements. Yeah, snaps. We do snaps here. No claps. We do snaps. So anybody have any announcements, like any game releases, anything happening in the community right now? I know there is.
Well, I guess I'll announce again that I released Dice Gun Commando. I've only done it a few times so far.
Heck yeah. That's awesome, dude. Yeah, snaps. Ooh,
yeah. My game Engine Hero is going to be coming out soon. I'm not quite sure when Steam will let me release it, but pretty soon.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah.
More snaps.
Congrats.
Hey, thanks.
Anybody else have any cool news? I think Potato does.
Yeah, I got a game coming out on Tuesday called Exarch. I did the music for it.
That's me doing the air horn. Snaps. Yeah. Sweet. Anybody else? I love hearing when people are doing stuff. It makes me happy.
2DCon is next week.
Ooh, yeah, 2DCon.
Yeah, I'm going that too. I did nail down a release date for my game as well.
Dude, really? When?
Nice.
So, yeah, I haven't announced it yet, but I just put it on the Steam backend that it's coming out November 24th.
Heck yeah, dude. Yeah, snaps.
Yeah. 26th, I don't remember. I'm pretty sure it's 24th.
24th. All right, time to talk to Warner 64.
I also we've also got another game that we put on Steam, but we haven't made the page public yet.
What?
And that one will be coming pretty soon. I need to finish up the description for it and then send it off to Steam Review. That one's called Mining Mike. So that one should be out.
Mining Mike?
Yeah. it's kind of close. I don't know if we'll get it out by the end of next week, but the goal is to make the Steam page public pretty soon, so that way we can get some wish lists going for the 2DCon event as well.
That's awesome.
Sweet.
Heck yeah, dude. Anybody else have any news related to games or anything? You can tell me anything. Tell me anything right now. Don't
Go
tell
back,
me anything
go.
right now. Sick. Well, I guess we've reached that portion. The best portion of all the portions. It's not a third. It's not a half. It's a whole thing. It's playback feedback, baby. It's like the Super Bowl meets the FIFA World Cup meets the Stanley Cup. It's all those things together.
It's all the cups.
It's all the cups. Yeah, all the cups.
And bowl.
And the bowls. So we've got a couple people who sent stuff via the chat, but you can still send stuff, obviously. Who sent? Brock, you sent stuff first, right? Did you have anything in particular?
Yes, excuse me. I just finally sat down with dinner and I didn't want to talk with my mouth full.
We can come back to you. We can come back
Okay.
to you. Let's go to who else was there? Let's see. Nick, wasn't there some Nick's gone? Nick was here. Oh no, Nick, you're here. You just
Yeah,
turned
I'm
your
here.
camera on.
Yep.
So you
You don't
sent.
turn
I'm
your
no
camera on,
longer
you're
a
not here.
green Darth Vader.
Yeah, I got really thrown off by that. Okay, so let's see. So we've got the Stolen-tainment.
Mm-hmm.
I'm nervous about downloading it. Which one is which? So this is with instruments, this is just the piano. Which one would you like us to listen
Correct. Probably the piano, because it's still very early composition, and I figure it's easier to hear any issues, especially with like off keys or
Sure.
something like that. Especially because it's been a while since I've studied music theory, so
Yeah. Yeah, music theory. Who needs that? Actually, I will say that as I have grown into this position of composer, I have learned more theory, and I use it more than I thought I would. I mean, I knew I would, but anyway. Okay, let's...
Basically, my experience is, from game design, is the best time to show people what you're working on is earlier than you feel comfortable showing it.
Oh, absolutely.
And I kind of feel that way about this composition.
Absolutely. That's the best time. Can you give us some context for this? Like what is it for? Is there any art for this game? Is there
not yet. It's sort of a game that I've been kicking around for a long time, but don't really have the confidence yet to dedicate myself to, after being burned from trying to make a game with too big of a scope, as a lot of us probably have at some point.
Yeah.
But like, I thought it would still be fun to chip away at a small part of it, and the idea is that this would be a character theme for a sort of jolly thief character that you would be helping deal with their alcohol addiction as part of the game. The idea is that your character went on a quest with this character and saved the world years ago, and now you're kind of dealing with the aftermath of that, and you're helping different party members with issues that came from that, and so I was kind of aiming for a sort of a jolly theme with maybe a little bit of edge. But the key point is I'm taking the entertainer and I'm taking the can, and I'm trying to find a way to mesh the two together, because public domain music is useful
Yeah.
when you don't want to worry about Right. And, you know, worst case scenario, if the only thing that comes out of this is an interesting little mashup, that's still cool.
That is cool. Okay, sweet. Let's listen to it. Let me find it on my computer here.
Yes.
So
Well,
here
there's
it is.
someone who... Do we normally go order that people submit? Or I don't want to, like, step in front of Alicord.
No, yeah, he was
Number
saying that
one.
he was eating right now, so we'll just switch.
Oh, that's true.
Switch it up. Switch it up.
All right.
Why not? Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
And I guess the only other thing to say is I made this in Anvil Studio, which is a very bare bones MIDI. So the
What is
instrumentation is probably going to sound rough to much more accomplished composers
Wow.
such as yourselves.
I've never even heard of this before. How did you even find
It's
this?
what I'm used to making, so it's sort of I went to something I could use to make something quick. For final composition, I will probably have to learn some FL Studio or something,
Sure.
or maybe I'll do something more chiptune. But I still think, for my purposes of quickly kind of getting a composition down and working with it to improve it, I think it does the job.
Sick. Let's listen, right? Let me know if you can hear this. Nope, you're not going to be able to hear that. It's an OGG file. Let's see. How do I want to do this? I'm a little nervous about opening.
Do you want it to be MP3 instead?
No, actually, we'll try to listen to it in the. We'll try to listen to it in Discord and see how it goes.
You could just get Godot and open it there.
Shut up. I'm just kidding. Okay, so piano. It's quiet. Okay. I'm just gonna. Let's see how. Sorry for just a second. I want to see if my. Okay, that should go there. Okay, so we're gonna try to open it. See how this goes. Okay, so let's make sure that we have output to computer. Okay. Can you hear that? Could anybody hear that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
We've all been putting our thumbs in the air.
Oh, sorry, I'm not looking at you.
Yeah,
What you're seeing on my screen is
Yeah,
what
that-
I'm looking at, so
Yeah.
That's fair.
yeah. All right, let's turn it up a little bit. Nice.
Yeah.
Snaps. Sick. So, anybody have anything? I have a couple things starting off, but I want to see if anybody else has.
I was just going to say, I found that extra entertaining. Creative and imaginative, the way you put it together.
Definitely. So, right here, I think your MIDI got off somehow. It's not as together as it was in the beginning.
Yep, that happens when you do a lot of copy paste.
Yeah. So, so that's one thing. I even can see it. Here it is. Boop, 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 boop. I mean, it honestly, if there was a reason for it, like it actually would sound kind of interesting, in my opinion. Like that mess of sound, it could actually like, because they're drunk or whatever, you know, you could like turn a knob, and it like gets more out of like rhythm.
I have been experimenting with transposing everything by a diatonic. Well, when I put in like -1, I noticed that a lot of the chords kind of get like notes more together, and that kind of had a very like drunk-like thing.
Yeah.
And then of course I could always mess with rhythm too.
Yeah.
But right now I'm just focused on getting like the main, this is the character's theme.
Right.
And then I can work on doing variations for minor key for some sad part of the, you know, backlash, or flashback, or or the more, you know,
what is this?
When
Inuyasha?
drunk, making what?
Nothing. Continue.
All right, after. Right, or you know, like you said, in a moment in which the character is drunk, make it a lot more unnerving.
Yeah.
And also slurring. And after.
Yeah. And then there was another part here. This was my other comment. Something there is strange.
Well, I know that
maybe you start on a minor key instead.
Yeah. Would it help if I pulled up the composer staff roll?
I think so. It might be a little hectic for me to figure out how to go throughout this. But does anybody else have any things they were saying, or anybody else?
I really enjoyed a couple of the switches, like when you went from one to the other. It was genuinely surprising in a really pleasant way. That's all I got.
Okay, I'll stop streaming, and then if you want to stream now, Nick, I think you could, right? Should be able to.
Sure.
Should be able to.
Yeah, I'll be switching my camera off because it's actually on a separate computer, but.
Okay. Well, did anybody else have anything? I'm trying to think of what I'm hearing here. I think it's just this first two chords. That is strange to me.
I noticed that as well. It's just that it's
a half step lower or something.
The two notes going into that section. Yeah, it's like a minor scale, and then it lands on a major chord. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a flat 2 or something.
Yeah.
All right, I should get these back to piano.
Hi everyone. Might I ask just like a general question?
Sure.
Yeah. What was like the main inspiration behind making this piece?
Well, the biggest inspiration was probably how can I use public domain music to make something characterful. And then I had a character who's a thief, so I thought, oh, what if I because there's another character who I already have in mind what public domain music would be their theme. Basically the simple gifts, screen green, 'tis a gift to be simple, 'tis a gift to be free. And so for this character, since they're like a thief, and also they're sort of someone who's, you know, trying to have a good time and cheer up others to kind of cover up other issues, I thought it would be nice to take two songs that are kind of entertaining, one being obviously The Entertainer, and then the second being the Can, which I actually have an entire game that I made surrounding the Can theme. And I was thinking, how can I kind of mash the two together to make something that, works as a character theme and then just doesn't sound like I just took verbatim, but did kind of something with it.
Well, I think that's really cool that you tied the music to the characters of the story you were trying to tell. It reminds me, like, what you're doing here with, like, amalgamating this, I guess, royalty-free music. It kind of reminds me of, if you've ever played the RPG series Mother or Earthbound.
Mm-hmm.
In
Yep.
in Mother 3, there's this one song. It's like a battle theme.
Mm-hmm.
And it amalgamates all sorts of classical pieces into like one cohesive track, and that's what this reminded me of.
Yeah, that's the one where you're like going against the ghost of a musician in like a haunted mansion or something.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, for those who aren't familiar with the, does everybody know The Entertainer here? I mean, I think pretty much everybody. Okay, yeah. And then the Can, obviously everybody knows that too. So,
actually, I'm the one person that's not familiar with either one of those pieces.
Okay.
So,
well then let's not say obviously, because I'm going to sound like a dick.
Yes.
All right. So...
Yeah, that's why I was having trouble like thinking of feedback, because like since I didn't recognize either of those pieces, it just sounded like a bunch of piano playing together, and it was hard for me to kind of like find a through line where I could latch on and be like, okay, that's the melody or that's the rhythm. It all just kind of blended together. So then I had a hard time, like it was hard for me to critique it, which I don't know, I don't think that's necessarily a problem, but as I guess the audience member that wasn't familiar with either of those pieces, it just sounded like generic piano music to me.
Well, this is the original song. I'll play just a little bit of it. So this is...
I actually think it's really valuable though to also get feedback about the composition from people who aren't familiar with the original works.
True.
Because I do want it to work on its own, and I think that's still good to hear. And also I do not plan for the song when implemented to be piano. I actually plan to do it with what I really liked so far is tango accordion for the treble and then timpani for the bass. But the problem with that is, especially with the MIDI and especially with timpani, if there is a disconnect between the like keys or whatever, that's harder to hear when it's being done as a timpani. I can give a little like preview.
Before you do that, I want to share the Can.
Sorry.
I want to share this a little bit so that Josh does have, and anybody has context.
Oh, sorry about that.
Triangle of the song. It's very famous, Josh. I can't believe you haven't heard it. But that's that. That's Can.
My musical influences are weird for sure.
It's the song
so.
that like they do the Can too.
Well, to be fair, you didn't get to that chorus part quite yet.
I didn't. I figured that was enough, but okay.
I think for a time it was an often used trope at Warner Brothers for like Looney Tunes kind of stuff. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Definitely. That's definitely using Looney Tunes. So yeah, show us what you got here. So those are the two songs that he's trying to mash up. For anybody that doesn't know those two songs.
But like I said, I think it's good to hear, you know, just what it sounds like as its own thing too.
Yeah, I agree. So let's see your. So is that whole first row there that's your
so
MIDI?
Like
okay.
Here's the. So before I had it in the key of G, but then I changed it to C because of actually your previous comment about the key not sounding quite right.
Mm-hmm.
I kept it in G for the second part because I noticed that the bass seems to transition to G, but I could also be wrong because like I said, it's been a while since music theory. And then here's what it's like during that part that you think sounds a little off.
Go ahead and play it.
Well,
right
solo or both together?
Play it together.
All right.
That timpani. Is that
or should I go back to piano?
I think probably piano.
Yes.
Yeah,
you can see why I thought the piano would be best
the
for
timpani. That's pretty awesome.
All right.
I think it's just that. Da, 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 or like.
Yeah, if you move that second note up a half step, it'll do wonders.
So this one?
No,
or back here.
It's hard to tell.
Yeah, it is hard to tell.
Oh.
That it would be da da. That's the one you want to change.
Yeah.
Oh, I was muted this whole time. That's why no one was responding.
Okay,
Josh.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I'm noticing in your composition a lot of the E's get naturalized, but your signature has an E flat, so that's probably where some of those weird rogue E flats are coming from, is where they aren't getting naturalized.
Okay, like I will, as you can probably see on the left side, part of this is me absolutely bastardizing a previously made MIDI file. So
we've all been there.
I do know that, like,
yeah,
I know the original Entertainer. According to Wikipedia, it says it's key of C, except for one of its sections, it does change to a different key before returning to C. And then the Can, I think, is also typically C major, but of course, who knows if the MIDI that I stole it from necessarily is. And I've moved it around too, because like I said before, because like, let's see here, because there's a point where I switch it from C to G because of the bass. But yeah, let's focus right now on the area we know sounds a little funny. So the thing that you think should go up a half note.
Yeah, it's definitely because of that key. It's an E flat right now, and you want an E natural. An E flat makes it C minor.
So
and you want C major.
Right. Wait, this is.
It's because you have your key signature is still
right, but the E says natural, right?
Right. It's not that one.
Oh,
it's gonna be earlier.
Here. So it's wherever there's an E here.
It's right at the beginning of that phrase. It's that da 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 da.
Oh, the intro to it, though.
Yes,
because this is from the original. Oh, okay.
That one right there. You got it. Yeah.
Right.
So if you make that one natural, it's gonna make it major.
There we go.
There it is. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I just couldn't figure out what the hell that note was that I was trying to
Yeah, especially because I kept skipping past it when trying to help.
No, it actually really helped. Looking at the score really helped because I got to see the key signature and I saw the E flat there.
Yeah.
You know, it's interesting because I heard that flat E, but I just thought that was part of the intended composition, so that's why it didn't
to be
stand out to
fair,
me.
it in the even though it's in the key of C, it does the original composition does start D E flat, and then it goes E something.
Yeah, it's got some accidentals in it. Yeah.
Yes. But it helps the mashup more if I keep it simple, stupid.
Yes, always. I actually find it more helpful to not have keys at all. And just natural or flat or sharp, just because it's keys. You don't need to make it harder for yourself. Like you're not in high school, jazz band or anything here. We're just trying to get these notes correct, or sounding like uniform. And so I personally would just be like screw the key. I don't think about keys usually. I'm like, well, that's not true, but for this context, I think having no key might actually be more beneficial and easier for you to be like, I don't know if that note actually is flat or sharp, or it's just, especially just coming back to music after a long period of not doing it. I would just get rid of that personally.
Actually, I have the because I've also been learning how to play the entertainer on the piano, and the sheet music I have in front of me is just in a natural key, and then it only does sharps and flats as accidentals, like you said.
Yep. Cool.
So,
well, let's. Do you feel like we've officially helped you?
Do
you feel helped?
I mean, that definitely helps to know to change to the E flat E to E natural.
Sweet.
It was nice to hear that the transitions were good, because that was one thing that I definitely worried about the most. One piece of advice I got, and I'd love to hear,
pretty good besides that flat note and then just the weirdness at the end. But that personally, I thought, was like, yep, there's the can, there's the entertainer. They're there.
One piece of advice I've gotten, and I'd love to hear other thoughts, is that typically for a character theme, you want it to be a bit shorter. This kind of comes in at 2:51. And I've heard that character themes should sometimes be closer to like 41 minutes. Now, the nice thing about overcomposing is I can always retake something from one part and put it in like a particular scene or something.
Sure.
But I'm curious what other people's just thoughts are.
I would think that has more to do with like how much are you gonna play it and how much are you looping it. If you're looping it a lot and having it in the background a lot, you probably want something longer. Otherwise, it sounds too samey. If you're just bringing it in as like an accent somewhere, then you probably want it short enough that the player gets that that's what you're doing.
One kind of nice thing about the entertainer is it already kind of loops a lot. It's got kind of a B, A, C kind of thing going on. And actually, for this, I cut it down so that it just does the one for different sections. But yeah, that's good to know that if I ever get to implementation, that's something to consider.
Josh, you made the quote of the night, just so you know. Sounds samey. I like that. Good.
I get the Taskmaster title.
Yeah, I mean, I think it has to do with context. Like Josh was saying, kind of piggybacking off of that, with character theme, I mean, like, let's talk about any Final Fantasy character theme. Like, they're long. They can be long. Like, it's you really want to find that piece of it though, that that is recognizable. And I think the can, the dun 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 dun, and then the da 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 Those two pieces everybody knows except for Josh apparently. And then but that's the moment, you know. So if you're looking for something recognizable or like hummable, that's the spot, I think. So you could, if you wanted to, focus it around that, make like a loopable section. But I've never heard of anybody saying that, like, you know, the character theme has to be a certain length or a certain. I mean, there are like other composers that, you know, and if I wouldn't go by seconds either. I'd go by bars. If like John Williams does a lot of like 16 32 bar phrases, and like that's how he writes a theme, you know. But and then it's like the next 32 bars is, you know, trading off the horns for the whatever. And so it's like the main composition though is that 16 to 32 bars. Or, you know, I do a lot of 8 bar phrases because they just work better for games, I think. But yeah, so thinking phrases rather than in time, I think that would be helpful.
All right. Well, thank you all very much.
You are very welcome. All right, let's move on back to Brock. Have you finished your meal?
Yep, I am satiated, and thank you very much. I'm just cracking open a seltzer water now.
Sick.
Watch it down a little bit. I'm not prepared as far as having my files open for that kind of comparative
that's okay.
note taking or whatever. But I think that the best benefit I would get
either, you know.
The best thing I could actually ask for as far as advice in a group like this is a lot of these tracks were intended to go toward some other project that kind of is no longer an IP that it's dedicated to. So I've been struggling for over a decade to like find a home for it with my own imagination, coming up with different stories to tell and kind of reappropriating these tracks and sometimes modifying them and changing them, which maybe there's room to still change them and improve them if you guys have advice for that.
Sure.
But I think I'm mostly looking for advice of like, what kind of stories do these tracks invoke? And I'm only going to ask you to play 2 because one of them's already posted and it's already dedicated to just being on a separate album of its own.
Is it both of these two?
Yeah, the Earn Spoils, both the two, the ones from Google Docs.
Cool.
There's
Okay.
Earn Spoils and the Unexplored Railway, whatever.
I'm getting.
And one of them is made. I was going to say one of them is made with a sound font that's mostly the Secret of Mana sound font. I made an entire album's worth of dedicated tracks independently composed with using those sounds. I've got a whole album's worth of tracks that are on that track. So
real quick, you need to do some permission granting. Rob doesn't have access.
I have no access.
Oh, crumbs. I knew I was going to run into something like that. I was wondering, or I wasn't sure if the share was actually going to work or not.
You just got to give him permission or make the file just generally accessible.
That's what I thought I did with this whole folder, and I must not have done that in the first place.
Sorry, everybody. I just... Request sent. Am I making anybody want to throw up? I'm sorry.
No, we're just doing some Robcore.
Robcore. I still need permission. Well, what about this
I'm trying
one?
to just make it open here.
This one we can just go right away.
Anyone with the link is what I meant to have it saved to. There we go. Anyone with the link. Try to refresh and see if it did the trick.
I will try it. There it is. Boom. Okay. Earn Spoils. Can you give us a little bit of context? And I know you said that it was for a project that just what were you kind of imagining when you were writing this?
Well, I was originally I was playing a lot of Spelunky at the time, so I was influenced a lot by that soundtrack, and it seemed like that was the direction that the project I was working on was kind of moving in, kind of that going into a dungeon, something kind of creepy, and something could lurk around any corner. That kind of feeling of being in a dark, you don't know this place, and
cool. That's
perfect. So that's basically what the roots of where it came from. I hope that Spelunky kind of comes through in there because that was definitely like a big influence at the time.
Do you happen to know any? Can you name off any tracks off the top of your head that were from Spelunky? I'm just curious.
Oh no, I just played the crap out of that game, all of it.
Let's just
most likely the first dungeons, the first level dungeons are probably the most likely herd because you
should.
die so quick.
You should play the ice caves.
Ice
Six
Caves.
saxophone.
Okay.
Yeah,
Let's just
that one's the
listen
best.
really quick because I wanna have a palette. Ice caves.
Ooh, good one, good one.
That just that's something. It's so unnerving. I love it. Okay, let's let's listen. Nice. Snaps for that.
Thank you.
I have some feedback, but I want to hear other people's stuff first.
So this very much felt to me like it would fit in a 90s style game, whether that's like a boomer shooter or one of
Boomer
those
shooter.
3D,
Amazing.
not RPGs, but like point and click adventures. Kind of like that entire like subset of like the 90s style games. It felt like it would have come right out of that.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's
There
very
was
good.
One part though that felt significantly different in tone from the other part of the song. If you could go halfway point and then a bit to the left, I think it was like around there-ish.
Right around there? Earlier?
Yeah, kind of. Keep going. No. I think that
Not
was
that far.
about the area.
Got it.
I thought it got like a bit faster. Yeah, no, a little farther. I think it's gonna be once we get on the other hill. Although yeah, I think actually it's right about here.
Right about here?
No, I think it was a little earlier.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I thought we just heard it, I thought.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. I think you're right.
Yeah, that little meter switch.
I think it's just this part right here.
Yeah. It's just the only part that didn't feel like, oh, I'm exploring a cavern or a sci-fi building or something. But other than that, I think it's the fact that everything else fit the mood so well that one part stuck out to me.
Yeah, understood. Thank you.
It was
And
a
then
bit like
can you repeat again what you want to try to do with this now that the project fell apart and you're looking for how to reuse it?
Yeah, I really like the advice because it really feels like homeless music at this moment. I'm like, should I make this an album for itself or does this belong in another game itself? Because I've got other tracks that kind of sound similar to this. I just thought this was probably the best example of most of the variety that is. But yeah, it feels a little bit project homeless, and I could just turn this into another album because of the other. I could turn the 6 or 7 other tracks I have into a full 12-length album, or just release it as an EP or something too. But I just feel like maybe there's something worthy here. But I wanted to ask other people's opinion if they thought I should just release this as music, or if I should hang on to this But I have way too many things in a treasure trove like that I never release. So
yeah,
you see where I'm coming from.
To me, it feels like very much game music and not like I sat down and listened to some music. I really like the vibe, the syncopation, just like, especially the way that the bass and the melody hits together. I just feel like it has this whole, it's got like a smell to it. You know what I mean? Like,
okay. Yeah.
I feel like when I'm listening to your track, I'm imagining like the future, but you're digging it up as if you're in the future of the future.
Wow, that's cool. That's a cool compliment.
That's the feel. I really liked it. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's a huge compliment.
So, if no one else has anything, I have a couple things. So, typically in game music, I've noticed at least, well, I guess it really depends on what this would be used for, but that sound that's doing that the lead line,
yeah,
I think that should just be gone. I think it should be gone, because what's happening here is, so disorientation is definitely a vibe in game music, obviously. Like this shit right here, amazing. All of this, and I even like that higher dun, 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 dun. I like it in earlier stuff. Like it's lower in the lower sections. It sounds like you might have it like an octave down or something. As a like ornamental thing, sounds really cool. But when it gets into this area, when it's like hard to distinguish, kind of like the rhythm versus harmony versus, like, you're kind of in a mess right here. Like that's a cool sound, that's a cool effect. That's cool shit. But it just sounds meandering, in my opinion, which is fine. But I think that it would be a stronger piece if you were to take some of the elements of, like, dissonance out of it, even though it's supposed to be dissonant, and focus on a couple of things about it that really stood out. Which, again,
Yeah,
I really like. I really like this beginning part and this part, which I think you're looping it. I can't exactly tell how you're doing it, but these parts were the strongest. Like that sounds like a dungeon to me. You know, it's like long, open, like dreary. You know, those are all things that feel like a cave. You know, but this stuff, it just seems like too much. You know, maybe if maybe it could be adaptive, where if, you know, if the player was starting to maybe get lost in a puzzle or something and they're taking too long, maybe it starts getting disorienting, or I don't know. Like, there are ways to make interesting happenings in games with, like, weird melody lines. You know, I don't think everything has to be hummable and singable. You know, especially if you're trying to really go for a really, like, distasteful thing almost. But I think that it'd be a stronger check if you pulled back some of that upper harmony, the upper lead parts, and just focused on that bed you're making. I think that's the coolest part of it, in my opinion.
Those are really great notes. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're very welcome. All right. Let's come back to your other track.
Of course.
So that we can see other people's stuff. But we can always come back around if we have time. Does anybody, I think I saw another track in there, but before we go there, I just wanted to ask, how do you feel about that, Brock? How is everything? How does that feedback feel from everybody, not just me?
Oh, I was definitely thanking everybody for their input and their feedback. I really appreciate that. I did ask for it, literally. I put the track up there and I said, hey, please listen to this and give me your feedback. So I think I got exactly what I asked for, and I'm appreciative.
Hell to the yeah. All right. So,
I guess I have one quick question, if I could ask.
Yeah.
So you keep describing it as you're not sure if you should release it as an album or as game music. Is there any reason to not just release it as an album and also still possibly use it as game music in the future? Does releasing it as an album prevent you from using it as game music? Or
you posit a very perfect question. I don't see why there is any difference. I guess I really have I'm trying to find, like, the most reasonable. I have so many projects in the fire, you know, so many irons in the fire. I just wonder if I should be focusing on this to get it out there, or, like, keep this on the shelf, if you know what I'm saying. Because I've got other things I could be working on.
I always think releasing is the most important thing, because, you know, if it's not getting anywhere, it's just sitting in your closet, like you're saying. So
I would agree.
Always finish the thing.
I in my experience, you can always write more music, you know. Yeah. So if there's something sitting around, just release it. It does no good just letting it sit around. I've done the same thing where you're trying to wait for the perfect project to use music for, but in the end, I always just write more music anyway. So I would just release it, or put it on itch for people to use for their games. You know, that's whenever I have music that does not get used for the project that it was written for, I just put it on itch.io and people can use it as a music pack and make it loopable, and you never know who can use it for their game.
As long as the client didn't pay for
advice.
it.
Oh, exactly. At this point, no. That's really excellent advice, Mateo. Thank you.
Yeah.
And that's the
Yeah,
motivation I
it is.
probably needed to hear. I think that's all I needed to hear, really. And plus the just motivation that you guys dug it, and it sounds like it's supposed to intend, like
Yeah.
Dungeon.
Absolutely. Yes, very awesome. Okay. So, Josiah, right? Yours is next?
Yeah, I think that's me. I have a picture. Hold on a second. Let me see.
Woods. Ooh, I like pictures.
Let me throw a picture
Here,
if I can get
I'll
to the
stop
right
streaming
spot.
and look at
Wait,
your...
where did it go? My mind is frying. Here we go. Oh, there's a picture. It's a GIF, actually.
Oh, okay. Ooh, pretty. This is a game you're working on?
This is not the game that I'm working on right now. It's like a prototype that needs to be revamped in a lot of ways, but
I like
I just want to get some feedback on the music.
Yeah, let's listen. Sweet. Snaps.
I don't know if this was intentional, Rob, but you closed the stream, so we didn't see the picture.
Ah, shit. Wasn't intentional. It's me just doing way too much shit. Okay. I'm sorry. So the picture is this one right here. So let's listen again. Oh, I just want to know where this goes. I just love that chord. It's a good chord. See you, Ruben. Okay. Thoughts? Anybody?
Yeah, I put mine in chat. I was before we saw the GIF. I was like, oh yeah, it's like give me like Disney, Zelda, Kingdom Hearts vibes, and then I see the GIF. I'm like, oh yeah, looks very much what you're going for, I guess.
Yep.
The way that I don't know if it was just the way the audio was coming through though, but it sounded like those chords, those long chords that were in the forefront. That's like most of what drew my attention. And it kind of washed out a lot of the other things, like the staccato and brightness of a lot of the other stuff, like helped kind of cut through it. But it was very much like that's what I was focusing on as coming back. So
yeah,
I don't
that
know
makes
if
sense.
Yeah.
That's helpful.
Dude, every time you make something, Josiah, I always like there are certain pieces, there are parts of it that I'm like, that's really good. And it's usually either followed by something equally good or something that I want a whole other song. You know, I want like the
Oh.
whole song of that. You know, rather than like
Yeah.
I feel like there was 3 songs in there.
Yeah, there probably is.
And they're similar. You know, they're not like vastly different. But I feel like I want to like hold on to one thing you are trying to share there, you know.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But I really love the voice leading that you're doing there, and like some of the Spivvy. This is my cat Spivvy. She's an annoying asshole. Not really. She's just annoying today. Yeah. So yeah. And like I said, like there's like a chord cluster near the end. I don't know what chord that is, but it feels like it's supposed to go somewhere and it doesn't. And I really love it.
It actually is a turnaround.
Oh, it's like
that goes back into
figured
it goes back into the loop.
Yeah. And another thing that I was gonna say is I don't know if I agree with this or not, but I mean I really like your downward. I like the downward progression. That but I worry that in the wrong application it could be it could give like the player the wrong idea. You know, there's like this downward motion in an area that's so bright and happy.
Yep.
I don't know if I want to feel that low.
Yep.
In that particular one, it almost feels like that part feels like a kingdom, like in turmoil, like on the verge of collapse, kind of thing. You know, like, that's what that part feels like to me. Whereas, like, cut that out, and the rest of the song, that's the song that would fit more of that area, that color, that vibe, in my opinion. Like I said, I'm always like really, I love hearing your songs because they're always like, they always have a lot of really cool parts, but it seems like you get into a similar thing that I do, which is like, I just want to write all this stuff. I want to write this and this and this and this, and you just get like ADHD in the track, and you can't like focus it. And yeah, that took me still very challenging for me, for sure.
Yeah, this to be fair, this is like a early like theme writing stage, so it probably will be cut up into like
cool
3 or 4 or 6 track. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I mean, it is basically what I'm saying. Like you kind of are doing that. Okay, cool, sweet. That's all I had to say.
Yeah.
I loved the chord change at the end.
Yeah, that's real good.
There was one nice like modulative chord change at the end that I really dug.
Yeah.
Thanks.
To piggyback off of Rob on the concept of using contextual parts of music, if there's different parts of that song, that actually did feel like they were all different, like parts of the same town in a way or something, you know, like if that were to contextualize, like if you walk to different segments, it would be similar, it would all sound the same, but they would maybe have a different, I probably already meant, you knew what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's helpful.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Maybe you saw my face during the second playthrough, but there was just a single part I didn't like, and it's like at the end of the intro and beginning of the next section. Something about that just sounded off to me. But other than that, you know, it was lovely. Before I had the image, I was already picturing like walking through a cloud kingdom with
that's cool.
Violets and oranges,
that's
I think it also does work for a forest though as well.
So
you're not actually very far off with your picture, even though it's a forest.
Yeah, I really like it.
Cool. Thanks.
Anybody else have anything for this particular thing? Sweet. Do you feel like you got some good feedback out of that?
Oh yeah.
Great.
Definitely.
That's
the thing that the thing you mentioned about it feeling like just a little bit too dark with the downward progression. I think I felt that, but I was afraid to say it to myself in a way, you know, like
it's just so
I like it, but I want it to.
progression. It's a great downward slope. It's just
It really is.
It
needs to be in a different spot in a different song, I
possibly.
think.
Possibly. Like take the same movement and maybe up a couple, maybe different key or something, and you could do some, I don't know. It's a really good, like I said, the voice leading is really nice. Feels good. What do you want?
Or flip side, take the Enchanted Forest and give it a dark backstory, and that's just the foreshadowing.
That's good.
I almost get a little bit like you're being like controlled to move a certain way, or going through like a dream sequence. Like you're not fully, your character's not fully like aware of what's going on.
That's another good.
It's actually subtly a horror game. It's not actually a horror game. That would be wild.
Yeah, because if you sped that downward slope up, it'd be like, dun, 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 it'd feel very like Bowser. Unfinished, kind of cadence.
Yeah, definitely.
Give it like a little vibrato shake, a little wobble to it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Tate Flanger.
Sweet. Well,
cool.
I have something to share that I could use some major feedback on. So I have been, if that's cool with everybody. Cool.
What about Mixolydian feedback?
Mixolydian? What's their
You mean
instead of major?
Mixolydian?
Did I say Mixolydian?
I like Mixolydian.
I'm imagining like Nickelodeon but Mixolydian.
Yeah.
I did mean Mixolydian.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about?
Wasn't the Nickelodeon just a music playing machine? It would just be a Nickelodeon that only played a Mixolydian.
I like that.
All right, thanks for salvaging my joke.
Okay, that's good stuff, Josh. What? She's driving me crazy. I forgot to feed her before this meeting. Okay, so some context. You can see this, right?
Nope.
No? Oh, wait, I'm not sharing.
You closed your last stream.
That's right. That's right. Officially doing too much on the stream. Okay, so now you can see this, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Sweet. So, I am making this for Itch. It is an adaptive track. So the idea here is that this song would be like early game of an RPG. That's what I'm kind of thinking. So kind of imagine, you're just getting your first, your short sword instead of the dagger. You're getting, the tactile pants instead of the ragamuffin. You're starting to really get into the game a little bit. Not before the epic turnaround that happens halfway through or whatever. So this track would be made for like, I don't know, world map or maybe outside of a town or something. I don't know. So there's 3 states. There's a calm, and I say calm as like just not as elevated as the full section. And then we've got the peak section, which would be like battle. It has a stinger. And then once the battle's over, it just kind of fades back into whatever it was before or wherever you want to go basically with it. So there are these 3 intensities: calm, full, and peak. And then we've got a battle stinger. On top of that, we've got these 4, tension building elements, which is the rhythm, which mostly is just drums or like things that really add to the drums. Bed, which would be like pads or like anything that's like longer held out notes. Melody, mostly things that, are moving, what a melody is. And then tension would be kind of like any harmonization of anything. So the idea would be to use these once you get past. So these are built in 8-bar phrases, but I've got 4 8-bar phrases before like kind of a looping point basically. And then at the looping point you would use these different things. You can see that I'm turning down, all the drums. You'd use these at the looping point to like make nuance if you wanted, but really you could just have this loop over and over. And by the time you get to the 4th 8-bar phrase, you know, there's stuff that's probably happened, like it's, you know, kind of long. So so that's like kind of the context, but this isn't exactly for a specific game. It would be for, you know, to purchase. And I'm gonna set the price probably at like $24.99 for the one song, because you'll see why. And that this was a lot of work, a lot of work. And then I'm also going to be taking the mixes that are made in here, and then I'll also export them as audio files, so that you could just, you know, if you're not using Fmod, you could still benefit from the adaptive format, basically. So so within the package, there would be this project, there would be documentation to explain this project and like the logic behind how I composed it and whatnot. And then there would be the audio files that would eliminate Fmod altogether. So that's like what you'd be buying, basically. Is that clear so far?
Yep.
Cool. So I can't see anybody, sorry. So I'll play these, and I'll play with some of the these elements once we get to these sections. So yeah, from the top. Okay, so there's the first section. Sorry, I didn't mean to stop that, actually. So there's not a ton of changes in some of these elements you can hear, and I'm still kind of working on that. But, okay, so we're going to go from... I want to show the transitions now, so we'll start back where we were. So that's kind of it. Yeah, thanks. Thanks for the snaps. Wish I can hear them. So, did what I say equate to what you heard or saw, or is it the same? Does it achieve the things that I was talking about?
Yes.
Sick.
I think so.
I'm inclined to agree. I'm
Great.
also impressed by actually seeing Fmod in action. I've only heard of its uses, but it's really, how have I not gotten into this already?
It's pretty sweet.
I know. I just wrote down Fmod. Look into it. I know there was
Now,
a
does
good.
do these same files work with WYs, or do you is that so different that it doesn't have compatibility?
I would have to redo this all in Wise, but what would have compatibility would be the mixes. You know, these separate mixes that basically every 8 bars I would be exporting. Basically, what I'm gonna do is honestly I'm gonna just record this back into the DAW, and I'll basically like mute certain parts to make sure that, you know, there's transitions are happening and right and stuff. But this whole song was built in Ableton first, and then I exported all these different pieces and then brought it in here, and then I started constructing the songs more intentionally, you know, in Fmod, so that I could get an idea of like how things would build and then pull back and, you know, stuff like that. So yeah. So no, it wouldn't work in Wise. But with this, and then the audio files that you could crossfade between, you know, in Unity or in Unreal or whatever, I think that would give you a comparable sort of, you know, version. And I would, in the documentation, I'm going to be like, use this if you're going to go and, you know, fight a boss, or, you know, go to this part, or, you know, I'm going to try my best to give some examples of where I would put this stuff, but also don't want to, you know, limit in any way. Another thing that's really nice about Fmod, though, is that, like, let's say we're listening to the full part. So we're listening here. And let's say, like, as a developer, I'm like, I just don't want the snare in there at all. Okay. So now they can just get rid of the snare or the hi-hat. And it's still the same piece, though. So that's the nice thing about breaking it up like this, and that's how I was able to do these different mix variations, these different tension builders. And so, yeah, I can tell you what my concern is as someone. The only concern I have is that these don't do enough.
That's where I was gonna go, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Also me.
subtlety can be better in games, I think, a lot of the time, because when it's too obvious, it's just you don't want that attention. You want to feel like it's sort of pulling back and you're not understanding why. You know, that's the only reason I'm going that direction. That's why I've like built it that way. But I also built it also realized as I was doing these tension changes, I just knew I didn't have enough layers. I just didn't have enough, you know, like I struggle with like stuff earlier.
We lost your
Your
mic.
voice got really quiet.
I think you just moved away from the mic. All right, well, I guess we're taking over the stream now.
He did give us that little one moment finger.
Check.
There you are.
Check.
Hey, you're back. And he's gone again.
No, I shouldn't
Oh, there he is.
be here. Hey.
Great.
Alrighty.
Welcome back.
So, yeah, enough of me talking. More feedback. Sorry.
I really like even if you don't have as much variety in the way that those mix buses are working, I really do like the juxtaposition of like how very relaxed and kind of calm it feels in the very first part and the first two parts. The tension that you created in the third, that track is a jam. Like really, that tension really ramps really well, and it mixes well. I think that maybe there's a little bit more dynamism that you could get out of the mixes there, but I love how when you say like get out of battle or whatever the tension is, resolving back to that calm, it really hits. It works.
Thank you. Sick, I said. Sick, not dick. Sick. God. What's going on with this mic? Continue. Sorry. Thank you, Brock.
I really liked the chill vibe. I did feel a little bit like, I mean, the whole time I was just imagining the guy, he's getting his short sword, but he also is holding like a surfboard. I just can't get away from that picture. It was just such a beach vibe.
That's okay. I feel like with this track, I'm trying to like, I don't know, I've been trying to find a center of my sound, I guess, and I'm just like guitar based stuff, or like rock based. I don't understand why it's doing this. I don't know why it's doing this. 1 second.
The gnomes are overworked inside your microphone.
I've got a gate, and I think that might be it. Hold on, I'm gonna unplug for just a second. Okay, let's see how that goes. I have been trying to like go for more of this like rock based. I feel like I'm better at it, so it's like, let's just lean in on what I'm good at. So yeah, I think that there's beach vibes in it for sure, but I kind of just was like, I feel like it's a creative track, like you can kind of use it for whatever. You could kind of put it in any RPG if you wanted to. It might not fit perfectly, but I don't know. I appreciate that.
I even think it would fit some platformers as well.
And I felt like it'd probably work for other type of games. I just, wanted to market it as something I thought it would really go for.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm also struggling with like how exactly I want to market it. But my plan is to do this whole thing more, like sell songs separately like this, rather than, because I was gonna do. This was based on Rob's hero journey. I was going to do a hero's journey thing where, like each song would be part of the hero's journey archetype. And I don't know if you're familiar with that, but the hero's journey it's very, very prolific. It's been used in a lot of things. So like, it's this guy, Joseph Campbell, he made this book, I think, where it's, so you got these like, call to adventure, helper, tests, you're kind of like doing this circle for how, a typical hero story sort of works. So I was going to try to write a song for each of these things, and then like have outs, ins and outs that go to different parts dynamically, basically. And then this was just taking so long, like just too long to be feasible. And I think what I want to do is I could do more of these. I could, like, I've got other tracks that I started. Here's where is it? Hero's Journey. I've got these other tracks that I started, but they're not dynamically sort of worked up yet like in Fmod. But I don't know, I just think there's more value in like singular songs that someone could like, you know, maybe listen to the full version of it on YouTube or something. I might do something like that, and then they can buy the adaptive version and then play with it to their heart's content. Because like another thing that I want to encourage people to do is I'm going to give them the key, I'm going to give them the tempo, and just add stuff. Like if you really want a guitar solo in there, like hire a guitar player and put it in there. I don't know, like be creative. And it's like all laid out for you basically. So the one thing that I am mostly concerned about though is I'm pitching this basically to developers. So and they're not, you know, you're not required to know anything about music necessarily to do the stuff, but is like the logic clear enough that someone could just come up to this and be like, yes, I understand this with a document, you know, like I said, I'm going to have a documentation with it, but
if you're going for that kind of an audience where someone doesn't necessarily have the music experience, I don't know if just straight documentation is necessarily going to help convince someone on why they need a dynamic adaptive system, because they're not going to necessarily know musically when they need to do that adoption. I almost wonder if there needs to be some sort of like example project, kind of not necessarily something that you actually make as a project, but something that you could put a video to and show, hey, this is when you would take this part out, and give
yeah,
examples of that
I'll do
side
some
of
kind of
it.
trailer for sure, and it will be bundled in with the, you know, but the stuff you're talking about would be in documentation. So,
I
but
can
yeah,
kind of see it
having,
as like it's like a take what you want from it. Like you just have a track and it's like you can just like turn off, say you just want the drum beat, right? And you can just, you know, turn off everything else and just have that. Like I think of like an avatar in VR chat or something, like where you can just say, okay, I want these features on, whatever. There's different customizations you can do in the game, like while you're running. It's like, yeah, I don't need everything else. I just want this particular logo.
Yeah, and that's available. Like you can, this is tanking my frame rate. But yeah, like you because like I'll also have the mixes in there too, like the no drums mix, the, you know, like that stuff will also be in there, and you can just omit the Fmod project altogether. It's just like I want to have that in there, so it's just, I mean, it's plug and play, you know. You can just point it in there, and you know, and I think there's some experimenting that I want to encourage developers to do when they do want to, you know, work with dynamic music, because it's like you've got, I mean, it's going to just work out of the box. You're going to sit in that calm position if you call this event, and then if you use a parameter to change, that's when it would, you know, go to the next thing. So it's like attach your logic, or attach the logic that Fmod is sort of giving to different states in your game, and, you know, experiment with how they work. Because like in the documentation I'll say, you know, oh, this is going to give you a quarter note, or this amount of time, you know, it's going to take to get to the next thing. And like I said, I'll have a video explanation of this too. Mostly like, yeah.
I think what I'm trying to get at though is, first, let me actually clarify. What do you mean by documentation? Like something written up explaining everything?
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to explain how it works, how this Fmod project works, how it was built, and what the intention is behind, you know, different things. And then just like how my logic, the logic of the project, the logic that, you know, you can implement as a developer, and then like based on emotions, basically like use use this then and try adding this to the, I don't know, it's like I haven't quite figured out the documentation part of it, but I know it's going to be an important part of it.
So that's documenting how it should be used, which yeah, obviously that
It's
is what's
instructions.
needed. What I'm coming back from, like, the if I'm someone that doesn't know how to work with adaptive music because I'm not familiar with it, it's not something that I'm immediately going to figure out by reading the documentation, because adaptive music is something that's entirely felt and seen and not explained. Like, I would know, like, okay, this
I
is
think
a
you're
thing
thinking
that
too
could.
hard about it, but
I'm
yeah,
just pushing it from that angle,
for sure.
see where things might break.
For sure. And I appreciate that, because I do think that is something I thought about a lot. It's just like, but at the same time, if someone's looking for adaptive music, they know why they're looking for it, you know.
Right, but that's a
There
different
are
person
so
at that
many
point.
tracks on itch already that are just like a track. And most of the time I find developers want the nuance. They want the ability to play with it. They want the ability to be like, can this change? Can this do something? And if they don't want to buy an adaptive track, they don't have to, you know. But like, I think that it could be a really
Maybe I'm misunderstanding your target audience then, because I was hearing you're targeting people that don't have experience with adaptive music, and but what you're describing is you're going for the developers that do already have some understanding of what
I
that
think
is,
it's
which
a
is
little bit of column A and B, because how are you supposed to get into, you know, get into something that you don't understand if you don't have something to play with, basically? Because you could use this as not an adaptive track. You could use this as, you know, just use the audio files.
I'm thinking more from, and maybe I am belaboring the point a little too much at this point. I was just thinking more from, like, if I'm not familiar with what that even is, then how am I going to know what knobs I'm even supposed to turn? What sounds good? What feels good? How do I know what impact that actually
Because
has? Because
that's
the
what the
problem,
documentation will have. It'll say it. And I'll also have a video of me explaining why you would do it, basically.
yeah, fair.
I think if you show them how to use it, people will see the benefit. And like you don't I mean, you don't need to even cover all the like possible use cases, right?
Yeah.
To just be like, this is where you would use it for this feeling. And this is a way you could use it for like this thing, you know, like, or if you want to just suddenly surprise everybody, then you pull it all the way back, you know, like, and you just a few examples like that. I think people will see
Yeah.
the
I mean,
value.
Yeah, I think that's what
ultimately,
I was getting at. Yeah.
I mean, ultimately, this is a way to, it's hire me. If you want nuance, if you want this to get fixed, then hire me. Like, it's the most carrot I can give without just, you know, them hiring me. So it's more of a discoverability thing. Like, oh, cool, he's doing adaptive tracks. He's actually making real game audio, not just a song that's just to the game. And, you know, I'm considering a lot of things like frequency range, considering, you know, tempo, and making sure that, you know, I'm leaving room for sound effects and stuff like that. So it's just like, it's game audio. It's true game audio. So, but I do appreciate your pushback, Josh, because you're the target market, basically, like someone that wants good music and might want it to adapt, but also could just use all the audio files in different points in the game. You know, be like, here's this mix, I want to use it for this town. Here's the battle music, let's put it in this part. Like, you could separate it like that if you wanted to. But yeah. So okay. Well, I got pretty much what I thought I was going to get from feedback wise. So that's good, at least. At least we're in the same realm. Because yeah, I want to adopt this sort of. This is the first one, obviously, so I think the system will only get better. And and you know, there'll be, if any iterations are made on future tracks, I can always go back to this one and do an update and stuff like that. So, you know, it's important to me that these tracks sound good on their own in a sense. But I also, you know, I'm making them for games. So I want them to functionally work the best in a game. With that, this has been Game.wav. The whoops, I forgot my venue edition. Whoops, I forgot the venue was closed edition. Yeah, thanks, Cal. I appreciate that. But this worked pretty good, actually. What feedback on this? I think it's okay.
Yeah, I think it worked out pretty well.
Sweet.
It was fine.
I mean, it's not like the funness of being in person, where you get to see all my arm flailing. So
well, you could just get a better camera and internet, and next time you could just show full HD arms flailing.
Yeah, I could do that. And just oh, hi, Spivey. You want dinner? Okay. My cat's really been bothering me for dinner, so I gotta go. But thank you for everyone who shared everything, and thank you for the feedback. Very, very helpful. Sounds like I need to really, that documentation probably is going to be the thing that needs more feedback. So
and not even documentation, just showing by example.
Yeah, Josh is getting wrapped in the documentation word. He's getting too lost in it. Just too lost in that word. You're thinking like Unity documentation. I'm not talking about that. But if
that might be what it is too, because there's a very specific meaning to documentation from an engineering standpoint.
All right. Nerd.
You are talking to the nerds club.
We're all nerds here. We're all nerds. I'm just kidding. But thank you so much for joining. It means a lot to me that you all came here, even with nothing, even with no venue. So it means a lot to me that people still showed up. So I appreciate you. And I love this community, and I love this group. I think it's awesome. So happy
you've done some good stuff here for sure.
Yeah.
Really.
You all did.
Thanks, everybody.
Everyone else is the reason why it's good. Like, I could show cool stuff, but it's cool that we get to, you know, make real changes in people's music and just hear other people's music in a feedback oriented, like a good way like that. I just like that. I think there's not a lot of opportunities to do that without, you know, some gatekeeping behind it, and I just think that's lame. So
definitely.
All right. Well, thanks for hosting all this.
Yes.
Yeah. Thanks, Rob.
Thank you. Everybody have a good night, and
Thanks, Rob.
drive safe.
Thank you.
That was a dumb one. All right. With love.
All right.
Goodbye.
All right. Peace out. See you.
Bye.
Bye. Those still on the stream. We're stopping it now. Thank you.